That is destiny fulfilled.
Destiny fulfilled indeed. What's up, everybody? Welcome to AP Entertainment, and I have officially seen Deadpool 2, so I have finished my Wolverine and Deadpool watch for the first time series, and I am finally ready to see Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters this weekend. Now, as you can tell, I got a different background than the other videos. Got a lot going on right now. I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm a little worn out with all the editing for this series, and I gotta go run and gun just to kind of film this one. But man, off the top, I want to say, boy, was Ryan Reynolds born to play this character. I don't know if there's another actor that could make these movies in the role of Deadpool as good as Ryan Reynolds has. So I want to say huge shout out to him. And I actually just learned, doing some quick research, that he gave up his salary for Deadpool 1 to keep his writers on set with him because everyone was convinced the movie wasn't going to make any money. So huge shout out to Ryan Reynolds for even making this series of Deadpool movies possible. And another thing that just wrecked what I was going to say at the beginning of this video is Disney Plus did me completely dirty. I swear on the version I watched on Disney Plus, the mid-credits scene cuts out as soon as Yukio gives the time-traveling device from Cable back to Deadpool. They say goodbye, and then I swear I went back to credits and I didn't see anything else. I just saw on YouTube there's a whole like 3-minute montage of Deadpool going back in time, doing a bunch of events that basically set up Deadpool and Wolverine. First of all, he saves his girlfriend, which is how she's in the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. I figured it was multiverse stuff. Good to know that now. He saves Peter from G-Force, which was funny. He kills the X-Men Origins Deadpool in front of X-Men Origins Wolverine. And now that I see X-Men Origins Wolverine on screen again, he kind of looks like the Wolverine that's in Deadpool and Wolverine. And Wade even says to him, when your buddy Wade calls on you, don't say no. So I feel like that's the version of Wolverine we're about to get back on screen, which is pretty cool that we're getting the original young version from the 60s or 70s in this movie. Of course, we got to end with the hilarious scene of him trying to kill baby Hitler, pushing the wall, pushing that envelope as far as possible, and he can't do it. He changes his diaper instead. So who knows, maybe changing little baby Hitler's diaper and giving him some human contact makes him a better person, and World War II and the death of millions never happens. So I'm so glad I took 30 seconds right before recording this to refresh my memory on the plots of the movie, which led me to that YouTube video. So now I won't be completely lost when I go to the movie and I'm like, how is all this set up? Real quick, in case this is the first video you're seeing in my series, I did a watch for the first time video for X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, Deadpool 1, Logan, and now Deadpool 2 in order to prepare for Deadpool and Wolverine. So subscribe to my channel, like this video, and go ahead and check out those other reviews. The movie itself, I gotta say, now I can't certify this because I've only seen Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 once each. But I think it was better than the first one to me. I think I even enjoyed it more. The main reason for that is probably because in Deadpool 1, again, you have an hour and 4 minutes of the opening scene and then flashbacks setting up the story. In this movie, we just jump right into it. There's no setup to be had. So I think that may be why you have more time with all the characters and Deadpool himself versus trying to explain how all this happened. Rotten Tomatoes, we got an 84 from the critics and an 85 from the audience. So again, certified fresh. Everyone loved this movie just like the first one and just like Logan. And the box office was like $3 million more than Deadpool 1. I think this was $785 million. The first one was around $782. So again, clap it up. Another huge success. I'm very curious if the R-rated Disney Deadpool and Wolverine can get to $1 billion. If coming off the success of Deadpool 1, Logan, Deadpool 2, those are 3 good movies that are led up to this one that everyone loved. I know it's hard for R-rated movies, but Joker did it. So there is precedent. If this movie's as good, if the word of mouth out of opening weekend is as popping as expected, I could see this movie getting to $1 billion, but we will have to wait and see. I feel like if it stayed in the 750 to 800 range, like Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, it would almost be a little disappointing for the MCU, because this movie is so much bigger scale than the first two. So I will definitely, that might be actually, other than trying to figure out how this is all going to set up the future of the MCU, the box office of this movie is the most interesting thing that I'm looking at. The opening credits, making fun of all the people that helped make the movie, hilarious. Another reason why I think the movie was so good is there's not really a villain that's just a straight-on villain. The villains of the movie are Cable and then Fire Fist. You understand both of their motives, and their motives make them really not even villains. And I think the best comic book movies are where there's not just a cookie cutter villain that you can just hate. That was my one critique of Logan. That's another reason why I like this one even more than the first Deadpool. Speaking of Fire Fist and the joke about how terrible his name was, there were some things that are direct copies of Guardians, like, again, making fun of the nickname. And then Guardians 1, when Deadpool went to the icebox to get locked up with Fire Fist, and they weren't really a team yet, they weren't really feeling each other, or at least Deadpool wasn't. That was very similar to the Guardians having to go to jail in Guardians 1. So just some similarities there that I understood why they took those things, because it worked the first time that Marvel did it. But I think the biggest thing from this movie that I will remember as time passes are the G-Force scenes, specifically recruiting the team, hilarious, learning about all these random powers that people have. I really love Zaza Beetz' power just being that she's lucky. Jumping out of the helicopter and them all dying. Again, only in Deadpool, just fantastic. Seeing that the invisible guy is Brad Pitt, I mean, you just gotta clap it up. It's hysterical. And before that happens, we have the scene where Wade goes to the X-Men house, and he's joking about how the place is empty, but then you open a door and you see that a lot of all the actors that played X-Men in the movies are in that room chilling. So again, it just kind of makes me confused again about what universe Logan is. Because in Logan, they set up that all the X-Men are dead because Professor X killed them by accident. I'm not saying it's a negative, it's not a complaint, again, because I don't really understand it, to be honest. It's just a little confusing, but it ties into the whole fourth wall element of Deadpool, where they're kind of just winking to the audience that, yeah, this doesn't necessarily make sense, but you know what we're talking about, and because of that, it makes it even funnier. And then we have the end fight, which I actually really liked. Again, because there wasn't necessarily a character that you were rooting against other than the headmaster of the hospital or whatever, who definitely was a piece of shit, and you wanted him to die. But we had Deadpool's death, who, let me backtrack, his girl dies in the beginning. Fox apparently loved killing the love interests of their main heroes. Happened to Logan twice, if not 3 times. Now it's happening to Deadpool. Right when they're about to make a baby, she dies. And then at the end of the movie, he dies, but you had the classic "I'm dying" scene, but he just can't go yet, and it happens on like 3 separate occasions. That was really well done, obviously. And then Cable gives up his last time travel left to go back and see his family. He can tell that his family is alive again because of the status of the teddy bear, and he chooses to instead go back in time to save Wade's life so that he doesn't get shot and killed. So that is, now we have Deadpool alive along with all the other people who he went back in time to save with the time travel device that Yukio and Warhead, I guess, fixed or modified so that it could be used on more occasions. Whether or not Zazie Beetz and Cable, Josh Brolin, are in Deadpool and Wolverine, I honestly have no idea. And I'm excited to find out if they are or not. I feel like they kind of have to be. I feel like they have to keep the G-Force team going, especially if there's something big enough where Wade needs Wolverine's help as well. That does create the kind of funny scenario where Josh Brolin will be playing himself in human form in the MCU, while also being the digital rendering and voice of Thanos. So technically he'll be in the MCU twice. I think they'll just have to fourth wall wink that one to us because there's really nothing else they can do about it. And I'm just happy that Vanessa's back alive and that he was able to save her in the credit scene, because I feel like she has more story to go, and I was just really sad for him that they barely got any time together in Deadpool 1 because of what happened to him, and then she just dies. So where Deadpool and Wolverine's going to start compared to where this movie ended, I have no idea. 6 years had passed. This movie came out in 2018. We're already in 2024, so they could just, give us some hints of a lot of stuff that's happened off screen. I mean, Infinity War, definitely Endgame happened after this movie was made. So if you just put that in your brain, it's like, wow, that was a long time ago. So they really could do anything as far as where this movie starts off from. So with how much I'm loving on the movie, you guys are probably like, oh, I think we got our first A of the series. Is another B+. The middle was a little, now again, if I saw this in the theater, it may have changed, but unfortunately I watched it at home. The middle, I had a couple, I'm gonna go scroll on my phone for a little bit. Not much going on here, I get the gist of it. The middle was a little, I'm not gonna say boring, just a little, all right, I see where we're going, let's get there. Again, B+, same grade as Deadpool 1 and Logan, no shame in it. 3 straight B+ leading in to Deadpool and Wolverine. Could we get our first A or A- with that? I think it is possible. I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank you guys for joining me on my series here. If this is the first video you saw, go ahead and check out my other ones. X-Men Origins Wolverine, The Wolverine, Deadpool 1, Logan, and now Deadpool 2. If you like my review style, subscribe to my channel, throw me a like, and hang out with me as we watch other stuff, movie and TV this summer leading into the fall. I hope you guys have a great weekend checking out the movie, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the comments.